All right, to make a long story short, I changed the oil in my Victory the other day. Went with Mobil 1 V Twin. Unlike Harley's, they don't have a 3-hole service. They're all, or I say they, Victory's is a 1-hole service. So the same lubrication that lubes the bearings is the same lubrication that lubes the clutches. So it's super simple. You pull the plug, you drain almost 5 quarts, and you use a wet clutch compatible oil to go back with. Well, originally was going for some T5 Rotella because a lot of guys on the Vic forums use the 2040. Super hard to find around here. Didn't use it, and the only thing I had, or the only thing I found, was the 2050 Mobil 1 V Twin, which some people in hotter areas use 2050, no issues. I'm super paranoid when it comes to my motorcycles. Anybody that knows me knows this. I will find something new, some new noise, some new tick or something. I will paranoid myself. And I do not like the way my Vic sounds now. So I ordered the Victory Oil 2040 kit, and we're going to change the oil again with less than 5 miles on the previous oil change. So follow along. Also, we have a lot of rain has came in since yesterday and probably for the next week. We've got a little break in the rain right now, but not enough for me to bring the bike up here to the house and change the oil. So we're going to go down to the garage where I keep it, and we're going to do it down there. Anyway, long story short, I think we're going to take the moped. I've got the van over here with my half-built rooftop deck. I've got my Acura over here working on a parasitic draw. The Ranger is sitting on the hill, the Bronco and the Jeep sitting in the back, the Mazda's in the back, and this is the closest one that I feel like dealing with. So moped it is, and lucky for us, it has tons of storage. So it's going to carry 5 quarts of oil and a filter down to the garage. Not sure if this was ever mentioned in a previous video or not, but one night we decided to go out and do some mini bike mayhem, and we didn't have enough mini bikes, so I took out the wife's moped, let somebody borrow my mini bike. Without giving out all kinds of details on what happened that night, let's just say the moped left us stranded because of a fuel issue that I think I've mentioned. I can't remember, my shit's. But I think when you leave this thing sitting for too long, it slowly leaks fuel to the top of the cylinder. So when you go to start it again after it's been sitting for a while, it's hard for it to start. Fouls plugs out. We usually keep a bunch of spares with us now because of that, but I recently found out that it has kickstart. And for anybody that knows or rides anything that has electric and kickstart is always a better option when it comes to something, especially like my daughter's dirt bike also. If it's been sitting for a while, you can kick it twice and it starts. You start it by key, you're starting forever. Same with this moped. You try to start it by key after it's been sitting for a while, more likely you run the battery down or you foul the plug out. You start it with the kicker, first kick usually every time. So we found that out a little too late after a wild night, but now we know, future reference. And yeah, so the moped is actually on par now anymore these days. All right, so old girl is a little dirty. We got stuck in some rain last time we brought it back to home, unfortunately. So she's got pollen, rain, a little bit of mud down there, whole thing. But we're gonna get her dressed up. Yeah, we're gonna get her some fresh lube. Yeah, make her sound better. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so as previously stated, Vicks are a one-hole kind of thing. If this be a Harley, you would have separate fluid for your primary, separate fluid for your engine oil, and then separate fluid for your transmission. But this is all built into one. This is not a chain-driven primary like Harley's either. This is a gear-driven. So, works out better, but they are notoriously a little more noisy to me compared to a Harley. Harleys, you do get, with the older twin cams, you do get a lot of chain slap noise, especially hot weather. You get a lot of clinking and clanking. Victories, they're known to have the Vic tick, but it's very minute. So we're going to see if we can quieten it down even more by going back with factory spec oil, or factory OEM oil anyway. So that's what we're about to do. I'm going to show you right here. Flip you around upside down. This is your oil plug right there. It's got a little crush washer on it. If you buy the OEM kit, you get new crush washer plus your filter, which is here. As you can see, I put a brand new K&N on it. I'm debating on leaving it because it is brand new, and like I said, it's got like 5 miles on it. But we may go ahead and put the Polaris filter on there. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, easy peasy. Unfortunately, the Vicks do sit really low, in case you can't tell. So I've got my homemade drain pan here. I'll get the plug started, and they do really good about not leaking out until the plug is damn near out. Unlike Harley, you back it off a couple threads and you're already starting to leak your fluid. Last time I done this while it was hot, because I wanted it to drain well, I ended up dropping the plug in the bottom. That wasn't no fun, so we're going to do it while the bike is ambient temperature. It'll just take a little longer to drain, which is no big deal. So we'll get started with that. This is an Allen head drain plug also. So I will figure out what size that is, and then we'll get started. All right, so we've got our Allen head, or our Allen wrench on. Yeah, fucking knuckle buster. We'll get her loosened up anyway. You can do this with a ratchet if you got a set of apexes or whatever. It doesn't take long. I didn't torque it down very much, so I don't really care to do it by hand. Let's back y'all up a little bit here. Turn this and get a hand in it, and now we're just going to finger our drain plug out. It may get a little messy, but I'm going to catch it this time. It's out. I feel it. Now I just gotta boink. Yeah, look at all that nice, clean, brand new oil. Who does shit like this? I don't know. I guess I do. So we're gonna let that drain for a few minutes. Clean up my drain bolt. Put the new crush washer on, and then we'll go to the filter, which is right back there. I will mention one of the things I don't like about the Vicks one hole system is the fact that you can't necessarily run a magnetic plug. I mean, you can if you really want to. You'll see larger fragments of metal, but due to it sharing the same drain and lubrication as your clutch, you're going to see fragmentation on your magnet. Like if you do fluid change on your Harley, on your transmission, you're guaranteed to have buildup on your magnet just because of the clutches. It's not uncommon. This, I'm sure you can find a magnetic plug to put in there. Like I said, you're guaranteed to find small fragmentation on the plug regardless, so it's kind of pointless. But on your Harleys, it is nice to be able to pull your engine plug, check it, pull your primary, check it, and of course if you do have clutch issues or transmission issues, you can pull your trans plug and inspect it further. But we're almost done draining, and then we're moving on to the filter. It's going to take a minute, like I say, because it's at room temperature. All right, in case you can't tell, we may have a few issues here. We are about to runneth over with still a stream going, so that's going to be nice. We'll be throwing the oil dry down, but at this point we will gently move our drain tray out of the way and put our plug and new crush washer in. Then we will move to the filter, which I'm still debating on changing the filter. I think I might just leave it. We'll just do a feel on this, let it run for a second, circulate, and then we'll check oil level. All right, we've got it down to a slow drip, so this is going to be our time to shine. We're going to try to slide this out gently, which doesn't look like it's working too good. Okay, there's our drip. Find our hole. Move this a little further. Yeah, put a little hair around this thing. And voila. You then shall torque it to manufacturer's torque spec. Just like so. Click, click, click. Yeah, like that. I would also like to mention that when you do this, you always want to clean the working area up. That way you can inspect for leaks later. If you dry it off, clean it up, and you do see fluid at any point after that, you know you have a leak. So that's always a good habit to do. And another thing to point out, if you ever go with the K&N oil filter instead of OEM, it comes with a socket head on the end of it in case somebody decides to crank that thing down too much. And you can throw an 11/16 wrench on there and take it right off. Alright, so next, remove your dipstick tube. We'll lay it somewhere like such. Alright, we swapped funnels. I think I said filter. I'm a little fucking combobulated. But good thing is, if you buy the Vic kits, like so, you automatically get your 4.5 quarts. You get 1 oil filter, 2 washers, and an O-ring. Comes with everything you need to do your oil change, and which is pretty convenient, but not that big of a deal breaker if you're somebody that prefers AMSOIL or Mobil 1 or whatever. But it is nice. As you can see, Victory Semi-Synthetic 2040. Alright, this is our last half quart for a total of 4.5. You will have residual in your filter, but from my experience on the last oil change there a few days ago, it's not very much, so I'm not really going to press myself too much on the exact oil level. Usually if you do a semi-warm oil change, you will put 4.5 in, and last time it measured out perfect. So if there is a little residual left in the oil filter, I'm not too concerned about it. That easy. And we'll keep the filter for another day. So now I'm gonna let this funnel drain. We'll put our dipstick back in. We'll start it, let it circulate for just a few seconds. Difference between Harley and Victory, and also depending on who you ask, it is whether you start it or whether you check your fluids on the stand or upright. Harley's, I've always checked my fluids on the stand. Victory, I think it is preferred, and by their manual, that you check it off the stand and upright, which is what we done last time. So like I said, after we get it running for just a second and circulating, we'll put it up a little bit, pull the dipstick, and double check.
plenty enough for me, and I can already tell you it sounds so much better already.
Alright, so once you get it in, get your bike upright as best as you can by yourself. Pull it, do an initial wipe, make sure it's clean, put it back in. I would say it's best to do this off of a stand or with someone helping you. Unfortunately, I have neither. So tighten it back up to operating position and then pull it again. And perfect. Geez, that's a full mark, which is that second mark right there. All right, we'll call that a win. The Vic kits also come with an extra crush washer and O-ring for your dipstick tube, which is a plus because most kits, or even if you go to a parts store, does not. So check us next time on some Victory maintenance.